All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to bring you a very important update on Ethereum. When do we ever not bring you important updates? The correct answer is never, because folks, we were in this ascending triangle here. I was making videos yesterday. You can look yesterday. I said if we break below this key support line right here, we have a very good chance of falling to test that 1700 range. I was making videos saying this is my accumulation zone. This is where I would be placing my buy orders, and that is exactly where we fell to, exactly where we found support. And if you would have stayed tuned to this channel, and if you would have entered there, you could have been up roughly, over 6%, 7%. Folks, like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because we've been killing it on this channel. We fell down exactly as predicted. If we fell down below this key support, we found support exactly where predicted, and now I want to make a new video because I see something very interesting happening in the short term, which is, well, we fell below this red line. It was previous support. Whenever we fall below support, that then acts as resistance afterwards. So now we are finding resistance on the line that was previously support. So interestingly, we are kind of range bound in between significant resistance levels here at previous all-time highs, kind of from 1875 to 1850, and significant support from 1800 to 1775. A lot of volume building up in these regions, a lot of clusters of EMAs below us, and a lot of significant resistance above us. So folks, Ethereum is kind of range bound in between these two strong support and resistance areas. In whatever way we break out of these two areas here, I think we're likely to trend in that direction for quite some time. I've been saying for a while on this channel, folks, we were making videos ringing the alarm bells right around here when Ethereum broke out from this macro ascending triangle, saying we're very likely to reach $2,000 soon. And folks, if we can break out bullishly from 1875, I do think that next impulse brings us to about $2,000. We have a Fibonacci extension level right about there. Also, if we take the height of this ascending triangle, move it to the breakout point, that brings us to about $2,000. So I do think if we can get above these key resistance areas, I think that next impulse takes us to $2,000. And to even summarize it further, key support being 1810 to 1775, key resistance being from 1850 to 1875. Okay, so I think we're really just range bound, and we need to see what way we break out between this strong support and strong resistance to understand future direction more clearly as well. Look at this, folks. Isn't this gorgeous? Even this wedge, I'm pretty sure I was talking about this to our Discord members. Link for that will be in the description below. Although I forget, I don't know if this was just for me, but bottom line is we were in this wedge. As soon as we broke out, that's when we started the pump. So folks, you have to stay with us. We've been absolutely killing it on this channel. We broke down exactly where predicted, found support exactly where predicted. Guys, I tried to warn you. I said this is where we're looking to accumulate Ethereum, and that's exactly, where we found support, exactly as predicted. Have I said exactly enough? So, folks, enough of that nonsense. Let's take a look at our indicators to try and get a sense of what Ethereum is doing. Let's begin by looking at the daily. So I don't want to rehash, yesterday's video entirely, because we went through a lot of this stuff. But let's talk about some of the key takeaways. The daily looks bearish. Daily MACD might have a bearish crossover. Weighted MACD on the way down. Stochastic RSI bearish crossover. RSI overbought going down. Daily looks very bearish. 12-hour. Look at this bearish crossover in the 12-hour MACD. Very bearish. Now, if we look at the 6-hour. The 6-hour is where we start to see some signs of some strength. The histogram on the MACD is starting to tick up. The weighted MACD has had a bullish crossover. The stochastic RSI has had a bullish crossover. RSI, regular RSI, just kind of chilling. Although another thing, folks, you can do is, I don't know if some people may know this, some people may not. You can draw support and resistance lines on the RSI, wedges, triangles, that kind of thing, and it'll be very telling for future direction, because if we start to break out bullishly out of this kind of descending triangle / wedge that the RSI is in, I would expect to see a bullish price action. If we break out bearishly, I would expect to see bearish price action. So you can draw support and resistance lines on the RSI, and it's actually very telling for future direction. So RSI kind of still in a downtrend, still kind of chilling, but we're definitely starting to see some signs of some strength. Let's take a look at the 3-hour. Yeah, kind of an extension of the 6, bullish. Let's look at the 2-hour bullish crossover in the MACD. And then just to finish off here, let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, and then some, bearish crossover in the weighted MACD, bearish crossover from the stochastic MACD histogram taken down. So to summarize a bit here, folks, larger time frames for Ethereum do look bearish. We're starting to see some signs of some strength building up in kind of like the hourlies, mid-hourly time frames. So what does this translate to? Ultimately, I think Ethereum is stuck in between strong support and strong resistance. So I think we're somewhat just range bound between these two areas until we break out. And whatever way we break out of this resistance area or this support area, we're likely to trend in that direction for quite some time. If we break out bearishly from this green box zone, I do think we retest my green accumulation zone here from roughly 1700 to 1550. Again, that is where I'd be looking to place my buy orders if we start to break below from these key levels, key support levels right here. 1775, kind of the measure of last resort for Ethereum to be like very short-term bullish. But let's talk about the long term, because I do think a bullish breakout takes us to 2000, bearish breakout takes us to these levels here. Now, in terms of the long term, so if we look at the chart of 2017 and we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, let's actually look it up right here. ETH BTC. So if we go to the ETH BTC pair here, right, and we go to the chart, and we wait for it to load, should just take a second, depends how good my Wi-Fi. Okay, so now, let's zoom out to the daily here. And as we can see, last cycle, Ethereum reached over 10%, over 12% really, of Bitcoin's price at the peak. So let's just assume that this time around, Ethereum has a good chance of reaching 10% of Bitcoin's price by the peak. Well, I think Bitcoin is likely to reach its peak sometime September, October this year. I'm basing that off a chart broken down by Trading Shot. There will be a link for the chart I'm referring to in the description below. In our Discord group, we have a resources section where we have that chart posted, which basically Trading Shot does a good job of breaking down the Bitcoin cycles, how Bitcoin basically moves in these 4-year cycles based off the halvings, right? And the next top is supposed to be end of September this year based off the previous cycles. So as well, given that knowledge, and we look back at 2017, we see that Ethereum reached its peak roughly a month after Bitcoin. So could something similar happen this time around, where Ethereum has a good chance of reaching maybe roughly 10% of Bitcoin's price and reaching its peak maybe a month after Bitcoin? I think something similar maybe has a good chance of happening. And so following Bitcoin, I think will be a good gauge to understand what Ethereum could do over the long term. If Bitcoin reaches 100,000, I think Ethereum can go to 10,000. If Bitcoin reaches 500,000, I think Ethereum could go to $50,000. So that's what I'm basing my long-term price predictions for Ethereum off of. Now with Tesla and a lot of these major S&P 500 publicly traded companies starting to put certain percentages of their balance sheet into Bitcoin, I do think Bitcoin has a very good chance of reaching the low hundreds of dollars this cycle in just under a year, in my opinion. So I do think Ethereum has a good chance of reaching the tens of thousands of dollars, September, October, November this year. So that's kind of what I'm looking out for as well. If anything interesting further happens, folks, we'll definitely be talking about it in our Discord group. Link to that will be down in the description below. As well, consider joining our Patreon and becoming a VIP Discord member. There will be a link down in the description below to join our Patreon. You get access to our VIP Discord with where you get access to the low cap gems that we're looking at, important setups and catalysts, that kind of thing. We have some very interesting setups, folks. So consider supporting us. Consider checking that out. Link for all that will be down in the description below. As well, we will be giving out a hardware wallet randomly to one of the first 100 Patreon members. So make sure you consider supporting us as well, folks. That's kind of my thoughts for the moment. Thank you for watching. Take care.